Welcome to our first video of 2021, and I pray that you enjoyed a joyous and a blessed Christmas and a happy and a safe New Year. This video today will be a bit shorter than our normal ones are, being in this holiday season, but as we do gather, I want to acknowledge, as we do always, that the land where we are is the land for which the Ngunnawal people are the first peoples and traditional custodians, and we pay our respects and commit ourselves to the journey of reconciliation. As we emerge from our Christmas celebrations of the birth of Jesus and we look forward to a year to come, it's natural that we'll ponder what is the year ahead going to hold for us. Many of us, as we came out of 2019, could in no way have anticipated what 2020 would hold for us. And so perhaps this is a heightened question for now as we are on the cusp of another new year. But really, I want to suggest to you that a more important question that we should be asking of ourselves is, who will we be as a people, as persons, as individuals, and as a people who seek to follow Jesus as we move forward, not just into 2021, but always? As we ponder this question, I'd like to read to you a passage that comes to us from the Gospel of John. It's the very beginning of the Gospel of John. So I'm reading from chapter 1, verses 1 to 5, and then jumping down to verse 14. It says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through the Word, and without the Word, not one thing came into being. What has come into being in the Word was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot put it out. And the Word became flesh and lived amongst us. We have seen his glory, the glory as of a Father's only Son, full of grace and truth." This passage announces that in Jesus, God came to be one with creation, to dwell amongst us. This affirmation is the foundation of our faith, that in Jesus, in a unique way, God is present to us and with us. As well as being the foundation of our faith, this announcement is also the inspiration for the people we are called to be. And in examining that as followers of Jesus, I'd like to think about three aspects that we learn from Jesus about what it means to be his followers through this understanding of him as the Word become flesh. For as followers of Jesus, we are called to be in the midst of life and as the bearers of the light of God's love. We are called to care for the world as God cares for the world. Later on the Gospel of John, it will say that God sent his Son out of love for all the world. We are called to have that same love. There is a song that has a line in it which has always resonates in my thinking: "Break my heart for what breaks yours." And God sees struggle and pain and hurt in the world. When God sees injustice and inequality, God is sad and God's heart is broken, for God desires the well-being of all creation, of all creatures, of all people, of all things. And God sent Jesus out of that love for the world. Jesus, we read again and again, was moved by his great love for all the peoples that he saw. We are called to be a people who have a similar sense of compassion, a similar sense of love for all creation. We are also called to be ones who immerse ourselves in the creation. When Jesus came, it wasn't just to run a program offering solutions. It was to dwell amongst us, to be God with us. This is a really important distinction. Jesus came to share, to be part of creation and to share our life with its joys and its sorrows, its triumphs and its struggles. Jesus came to dwell amongst us, to be one with us, to build relationships. And so we too, in our living out into the world, are called to engage with all those in the world, those who are going well and successful and those in their struggles, to engage with the natural world in all its joy and all its difficulty, but to be amongst those, to get to know the stories of others, to their hopes, their dreams, their struggles and their sorrows, so that we may be one beside them, that we may share with them and support them in their struggles as we bring God's grace to that, to build relationship, to immerse ourselves in the world as Jesus immersed himself in the world. And finally, we're called to be vessels of grace. Jesus came that we may know the fullness of God's love, God's healing, restoring, transformative love, to bring forgiveness for where we have stumbled, to bring healing for where we are hurt, to bring liberty for where we feel captive. Jesus came that we may know God's grace. And we are called in the way that we live to show God's grace, in our compassionate and welcoming actions to reflect the loving and inclusive character of God, to, in our life together, show God's vision of a realm under the rule of love, where all are valued and cherished and sustained and cared for, to show that in the way that we live, in the way that we relate to each other and to all others, and to proclaim the hope that we have in Jesus, of a God who loves us and who works for our healing and for the restoration of all creation, for the well-being of all creation. In us, in our lives live faithfully wherever we may be, the living, the healing and transforming word and wisdom of God, that is Jesus, breaks in, as like him we become one with all creation, dwelling in the midst of all creation. The old Methodist tradition contained a prayer called the covenant prayer. It was a prayer of a new commitment made each year to faithful discipleship of Jesus. The worship team at New Life Uniting Church have crafted this prayer into a song. And so for our prayer today, and to take us out, we're going to view the worship team as they sing for us the covenant prayer.
Put me to what you will, rank me with who you will. Lord, I am not my own, but I am yours. Put me to do your will, put me to suffer still. Lord, I am not my own, but I am yours. Exalt me, Lord, to bring you praise. Oh, bring me, Lord, and count my days. Fill me, Lord, to overflow, or empty me at all. be set aside for you, oh Lord. I'm not my own, but I am yours. Oh, let me have everything. I'll never, Lord, anything. Lord, I am not my own, but I am yours. Exalt me, Lord, to bring you praise. Oh, bring me, Lord, and count my days. Fill me, Lord, to overflow, or empty me, that all may know that I am yours. Oh, I am yours, Lord. I am yours. I am yours. I am yours. Oh, I am yours, oh Lord. I'm yours, oh I am, all I am. I am yours. Let this covenant I make today and vow on land and sea be ratified in heaven's name, oh Lord, my God.